It's Friday. It's sunny. It's warm here in Texas. It's going to be a good day.
Is it sunny over there? Here it's pouring, but the mountains look awesome when it's raining.
We have a lot of mountains in this part of Texas.
Oh,
We have
here's
big
all
skies.
mountains.
We have big skies.
Nice. So, hey everyone. Let's see who's already in the call. Citizen X. Wow, that's nice. Nacho G. Who's there? DubstepRod. I don't remember that guy. Oh yeah, I do. Hey man, how are you? Welcome to the AMA. Mr. Bullhound. Let's see. Who else is here? Pixie. Hello, Pixie. Good morning, Guru Shot and Marcel G. Is it Marcel? Let's see what's going on in Discord. Hey, Pixie, I see you saying hi. Welcome to the AMA. Mixed bag of nuts. Welcome to the AMA. And that's Flip Rock Magnum Opus. DubstepRod. Maybe I'm new. Maybe you are, man. I don't know if I've seen you before.
He's famous with creating those videos. He's like one
I
of the. He's like I think he's
I
probably
know.
the guy that creates the most videos for us.
Wait, who is this? Who's this new person? Dubstep?
Dubstep
Is it
yeah,
who? We know, man.
yeah, we know you.
Let's see. ATV Rancher and Town Builders. How are we on stage? Do we have everyone here? I think we're missing Farmer Michelle. Let's see. Okay. I don't know what's going on with Farmer Michelle. She usually has some connection issues. So we should probably get started. Um, okay, so welcome everybody to the June 23rd AMA. We've been doing this weekly AMA since July last year. We meet to share what's going on with everyone, with the team, with the community, answer questions, share news. As Sage usually says, we like to walk the talk. So let's go right ahead to our headlines, starting with Kesera. Hey, Kesera, what's going on with competition and Mayhem Rewards?
Hey Pablo, hey everyone. So we finally sent out the achievement and referral reward this week. I think both the competition and achievements combined, we sent out over 10 million in Gala just this week alone. And I'd like to remind everyone that the mayhem is still not over. There are still more achievements to be had. And if you haven't still qualified for the first three, there's still time for 2 more months. So please go play. I think that's about it on rewards from my side.
Got it. So, hey, Farmer Michelle is not here, but just a friendly reminder: we have the Town Burn to Gala. The end date for that is September 15th. So, every week we do the reminder because, I don't want you guys to miss out on that. So, yeah, so please keep that in mind. And then next up is myself. Gotta talk about a little thing called offline play or fast forward plus disconnect. So we have some news for you. Vulcan, am I allowed to say when we're releasing this thing?
Yeah.
Do you give me the okay?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Engineer. So hey guys, so the big news today is that we are releasing Fast Forward slash Offline Play plus a bunch of fixes to disconnect today. So by the end of the day, this thing will be out. The good thing though is that so what we want to say is that of course we'll have to monitor it. We've been working really hard to make sure that it's as good as possible, that it's not going to break your towns or mess up things, create more issues than solve them. But of course, there's also the possibility of that happening. So what we're going to do is release it today. We're very confident that it's working as good as it will. And if you guys can play over the weekend, we'll be monitoring, we'll be checking if things are going well or not. If we actually reduce a bunch of disconnects that we're expecting it will happen, plus the Townstar actually fast forwarded. So just play the heck out of it in casual mode. Try it out. And if you break it, let us know. You have that form from Farmer Michel. So yes, let us know what's going on with that. And hopefully it will be a permanent thing and we'll keep it running for the foreseeable future. So yes, be on the lookout for that today. That's I mean, it's a big news. We have more, but that's the one that I wanted to get out to you guys right away. So next up is game updates. So basically, we did not release throughout the competition this week because we were working hard on fast forward and disconnect issues to prepare for today's release. But we did release, as always, an update on Saturday. After the competition ended, we added a bunch of NFTs for Monday's sale. We added ghost cards as rewards. We added the new meta for the Anything Goes competition that is ending today. So it was a big update Saturday, some fixes at the beginning of the week. And today you can expect two releases. One is to enable the new competition and meta. There's a bunch of things coming to the game right after the competition ends. Guess that I will give you all the information on that, but we have buildings, units, new craft, and a bunch of new things coming to the game today. And later today, by the end of the day, in Central Time, you'll get the fast forward update. So that's what's going on with game updates. And I think that someone will go into more detail about what fast forward means right now. Hey, Volkan, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Yeah, there's some questions people had about how it works, some of the details on fast forward in general. Anybody who's in Discord and listening, I'm wondering if you were able to view the short video last week. If not, we can repost it. It basically just shows your town, a SpongeBob 5 hours later, and then what happens to your town during those 5 hours offline, to give you a visual on, what's it actually going to look like. There was a little bit of, some people thought you were going to log in and have to watch your town, your little dudes run around really fast. We didn't want to do that because that could go on for a very long time. Visually, it wasn't super appealing either. So yeah, so basically the way this is going to work is you go to casual or competition. For this weekend, you're only going to see it on casual, of course, because there's no competition running. And after you hit play, and you see the Townstar logo and the farmer and all that, during that time, after you hit play and before your town is playable, that's when the fast forwarding is happening on the server. So, I wanted to stick a loading, dot spinner or something up there. I didn't quite get that out this week. So when you click play, if it seems like it's taking a little bit longer, that's because fast forwarding is happening on the server to your town. And that is driven, it's a very CPU intensive thing. It's fast, but if there's, 1,000 people at once spread across all the servers, it might take a couple more seconds. So stay calm, let it load all the way, and then you'll be in your town. And I do mean just a few seconds. Like obviously, if we don't expect this to run for minutes, so Yeah. So that's the general experience. Is it'll be seamless. You don't have to do anything except go into your settings and turn on Update Town. I will post a screenshot real quick of what that looks like for anybody who hasn't seen it. Put that in Discord. So by default, everybody's town updates are offline, disabled. And that's how we started our testing too, is we're like, make sure everything works without this feature, right? So go into your town, if you want it to fast forward, set it to on. And then next time you close your browser, get kicked offline, and so on, the next time you come in, your town will be fast forwarded. So yeah, so there were a couple questions people had about that. Let's say you're running the game and mom picks up the phone and disconnects your modem, or you trip over your Cat5 cable or whatever, and you're just straight up
What?
disconnected.
Wait,
That's
your
Anybody
mom,
was listening.
full reference there. I don't
your
know.
mom picks up a phone call. What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Like,
What
Well,
year? What year are you living on, man?
hey, the 80s are calling you, man. The 80s are
dial-up is
calling you.
still a thing. It's still anyway. So Jetty had the question from what I just said. If I don't run my town for 60 hours, well, it won't take an hour to fast forward. No, it takes roughly about 2 seconds of fast forward CPU time to complete 24 hours of offline time. So that's roughly what you can expect.
Wow, so you'd have to wait like 6 seconds for that 60-hour thing.
Yeah, it's pretty fast, and we can make it faster, but
I think 6 seconds is cool. We should spend that time doing other fixes
yeah.
instead of making it faster. I think everybody. What do you guys think? Can we live with that? Can we live with the 6 seconds if you don't play for 60 hours? Probably, huh?
And that means that it runs exactly like it would in those 24 hours.
Yeah. So that's part of the logic that makes it really good to test, is that it's server side, so it's not spamming your client while it does it. It's not network bound. It's completely CPU bound. So your server will run the game, the simulation layer, but let's just say the game. It'll run your town exactly as it runs it when you're playing. It just does it at full speed, no delay in the background. When it's done and it's all caught up, then it sends your town a message, or your client, your browser, a message and says, okay, here's what your town looks like now. Let's start playing. And that's when it is all caught up. So yeah, it's exact same rule sets. I have a couple screenshots also I'll share, like the before and after, in Discord here. So for example, if you have I'll post screenshots of this, but let's say you had under construction, you had strawberry fields and you had silos under construction. And then you closed your browser, you went to work, whatever. When you come back, those strawberry fields are built, assuming you had a logger and a builder. The strawberry fields are built, the silos are built, and now those silos are probably full of strawberries. Yeah, exactly, Dash. Welcome back. All your storages are full. But everything else works too, right? So oil refineries, making gas, putting gas in the correct containers. It's exact same game logic. And I'll provide some examples, screenshots here when my hands free up off of this. The next question was, will offline play or fast forward apply to every town? Like every single town, even for people who didn't turn it on? And the answer is no. This only runs if you have that checkbox set in your settings. That was a concern from people who are like, hey, my town isn't ready yet. If it ran overnight, I'd be broke and I'd have to abandon it. Happens to me even when I'm not offline. So, yeah, so you want to...
So is that why we're starting every town with that turned off?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly
okay.
right. Yeah. Yep. The next question was, okay, well, help me understand the difference between just network lag, a couple seconds here or there, versus offline mode. Somebody was like, what if I hid my browser tab for 10 seconds and or 30 seconds, and I come back and I see all the trees pop and a bunch of +1s and everything. Is that the fast forward tech? That's not. That's just the normal game sim stuff. If you are the criteria for is this town going to be fast forwarded is, one, your account is in good standing. Two, you have that update town offline set to on, and three, your last save was more than 60 seconds ago. Note, it's not the last time your client talked to the server. It's not last time you logged in, not the last time you clicked play. It's the last time your town was saved, which happens every 60 seconds. So if all that's good, and the fourth would be, of course, if you're in a competition town, we only fast forward if the competition is still running. So if all that lines up and you've been offline for more than a minute, upon page load, after you click play, it'll be fast forwarded then.
So realistically, you're jumping it. Just let me jump in here. So if
sorry.
someone is trying to trick it and they go like, "Oh, I went offline and I come back, 30 seconds," you lost 30 seconds of my gameplay, right? Because it wasn't on the right minute saving pattern. That's just the way it's going to be the way it is, right? I'm concerned some people are going to be like, "Oh no, I've been set back by 30 seconds, or I've been set back by 59 seconds." I think that's worth I think that's worth it, right? In terms of having the ability to go offline and let it run for hours without being there.
Yeah.
It's practical. It's a practical constraint, guys. So just
Yeah.
be patient with it, and also with disconnects too, right? Jason, that's going to work. Say you mentioned your mom picks up the modem. I don't know. Some bird flies in front of your Wi-Fi connection, right? It'll still keep playing. I'm trying to set everybody's expectations because I know that some people, we can already see it. Wait, 60 seconds? Oh no. Yeah, Sam, I agree. If someone complains about 60 seconds, I wouldn't say ban them, but maybe you guys can help get the community's expectations set in line. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you. And the clearest way to think about it is, if you're playing the game, you're looking at your town, zooming around, whatever, placing buildings, no fast forward is going to happen in that view. Fast forward only happens after you click play and before your town is loaded. So, if you're going to bed for the night, just close the browser tab, open it up in the morning. That's when the fast forward will happen. That's the state transition during which it does. There was a question also about well, what if I set my town up, I close the browser, and then I go to work and I open it up there. Is the fast forward going to be honored even though I'm on a different machine or a different IP or whatever? Yes, absolutely. As long as you're logged in like normal, you're playing the game like normal. It doesn't matter if you go to a new machine or a new IP, as long as you're on that machine, legit, and you closed your old one. Close machine A, log into machine B. Machine B will receive the fast forward instructions.
And what if you don't close machine A and go to machine B?
That one's I wouldn't do that. The logic is supposed to be that you'll be kicked out of machine A.
Right.
Taken from the MMO model of you've been logged into another account or whatever. Some systems would forbid you from logging into machine B. What we wanted to do was the case where somebody's in a hurry, they leave the house, they get to work, they open Townstar. We don't want them to be locked out of Townstar all day. So we're well, let's kick them out of their old session.
Right. Wait, there's another question. Go ahead. There's another question.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Troopa is asking, will it sell and give stars / points with Autosale?
Yes.
So it works exactly like a normal town, as we've said before.
Yep, Mr. Troopa, it is exactly. All features are exactly the same as if you were sitting at your machine watching.
Now, the caveat there, we've mentioned it before, but correct me if I'm wrong. So in this first iteration that we're pushing out today, remember guys, fast forward is going out today. In a competition, you may see jumps, right? Someone logs in after 12 hours or 18 hours. It's calculated and they earn a bunch of stars. So they jump a little bit in the leaderboard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. But the next step that we're gonna get to at some point, guys, we have to work on different things, but the next step will be to see how we can make this process run periodically so that towns are updated constantly. So that's the next step. But first, we need to push this out, get you guys to test it, tell us if there's any big issues with it to get them fixed and make sure that it's pretty stable before we move on to that second part.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A really interesting question came from Jetty. Can we disconnect from the competition server, play in casual, and when we return to competition, it'll be fast forwarded? Yes, that's exactly the one of the two main reasons you would do this, right? You're like, cool, my town is in equilibrium, it's gaining money. I'll come back in an hour. I'm gonna go mess around in the sandbox. Let's see, known issues. I think I covered probably ad nauseum when this happens, right? After you click play and before your town is loaded, during the splash screen, that's when it's fast forwarding. There's one known issue right now. If you guys play with your JavaScript console log open, you'll see some errors spew after your town is loaded. It's about like the trade system, whatever. You can ignore that. It is benign. So that's a known issue, but it's only visual. It doesn't impact your game logic. You can still play. You don't have to reload. Yeah. So all in all, we've had a really fun week here after weeks and weeks of working on this feature, and this week has been fun of going in and just seeing if we can break it, put together weird things and situations, and so really looking forward to feedback from everybody. I hope you love the feature. Let's see. Nacho, what will happen with the leaderboards in the meantime while all the towns are closed? Yeah, right now, Nacho, like Musashi just mentioned, the leaderboard is only updated when you're playing your town or you come back and it's been fast forwarded. So there is that jump. We know that people aren't super thrilled about that, and we do want it to update the leaderboards offline a little more frequently. So that's a solution we're looking at.
Hey, I'm seeing a question from Moise M. Could we have a test competition going this weekend so we can test playing on both modes? So we weren't planning on that, but would you want me to set up a quick, maybe a repeat of Anything Goes with no rewards, of course, because it's something that I can put up in the game quickly together. But would you want a test competition, just from here to Sunday or maybe even Monday? Please let us know in Discord what you guys think. Remember, guys, it will be a no rewards competition, a test competition, but we can make that happen.
Neymar had a question. What about phone? Will it be the same on the phone? Every client, whether it's phone, mobile, desktop, currently everybody pretty much plays through the browser. Every client receives its data from the server. It's a server that does the fast forwarding, so it's a long-winded way of saying, yes, if you have a good mobile experience right now, your town will be fast forwarded, so you could log in and check it while you're on the train or something. Give it a couple secs, see if anybody else has any more questions. In the meantime, I'll just talk about disconnects real fast. When you guys see that the game version, if that's the sort of thing y'all look at when you're playing, 1.1.33, that release is going to have a bunch of engine fixes, which is going to fix a ton of our disconnect problems. So many fewer spinning T's. I hope everybody's happy with that. That'll be going live today as a test over the weekend as well. So, see any
is that it for disconnects and fast forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll paste.
Do you have anything else to share?
Yeah. Actually, for everybody who's listening and is on Discord, what would you think about? We haven't done this yet. I'm just judging the temperature here. What would you all think about a button in your settings or somewhere like that that says a social button that says share my town? It copies a URL to your clipboard. And then you can paste that in a DM or text or whatever. And your friend can click on that and view and play a read-only version of your town, exactly as you sent it, or exactly as it looks at the time they load it. What would you guys think about that? Like a spectate mode for somebody else's town, but only if they share it with you. Dark Magic says yes.
So some button where I get a link and I just share it with whoever I want to see it, and whoever comes by know, it's really easy. Just like click it and it loads a browser.
Yeah. Yeah, something that would be like, hey, Michelle, what am I doing wrong here? And I send her a link. She clicks on it. It bypasses the menus and everything and goes straight to a view mode of your town. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Cool. That sounds cool.
Okay, next question. We do everything through the browser. One of the reasons we went with Godot is because it has so many options. They're really high quality options for exporting. Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, Linux. Who's listening that would play the Townstar game as a native app, that would play it on Windows or Mac or even Linux? Curious to see, or if everybody just prefers it in the web.
So this is like a laptop or desktop, not talking about a native app being iOS or Android.
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Should probably type that out in the discussion, but yeah, just let me know. And Willow says only does it in browser. Okay. Grok this, not sure. Okay. Interesting. Play on Mac via web. Okay. So Raw from NLO, what about just playing as a Mac OS app? Improved. Yeah, Mara, what would be the benefits? Yeah, performance. It's not super, browsers weren't really from the beginning meant to run a bunch of graphics. Of course, WebGL is pretty good, but there's inefficiencies there, right? Dark Magic, yeah, we've tested our iOS app. It's part of our plans. Same Lonely Island, same for Android. Okay, seems like we're getting more people that would prefer it on mobile rather than on desktop.
Well, we do have plans for that, so that's good.
Yeah, it runs pretty well. It's just
the expiration on the town profile link.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, you'd share for 24 hours or something. Make it click once, maybe more sophisticated sharing.
Maybe
in that idea,
turn off the sharing somehow in your profile, like you turn it on for a while, share the link, turn it off.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Tantrum Gem. Thank you.
Hey, in that sharing idea, Volcron, if you give the same link to two different people, does it produce two separate read-only towns? How does that work?
So the way I was thinking about doing this was, you are loading a town, and rather than loading your own town, you're just loading the ID of the one that's on the URL. And once it's loaded, your client might tell the server, okay, I made all these changes, save it. But the server's like, well, you don't own the town, so you can keep playing, but I'm not going to save it. So the idea would be, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. And just a quick note on public-facing API for leaderboards. So I got some DMs about that, and I saw some people asking about it here. Yeah, it's still in the works. We have some architectural stuff we want to overcome, and then we were talking a little bit about some fun ways. Believe it or not, key generation can be fun. API key generation that would actually be fun for players. So it is in progress. It's not on the front. It's kind of a back burner thing right now. We have to fix all these problems and make the game more stable and all that, which is addressed a lot by going live today. So there's a little movement on the public-facing API. And that's updates on
Awesome.
disconnects and stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Volker. That's a lot of information, great questions and suggestions. We're getting a lot of ideas from people. Please remember to say, I saw some comments, but if you want a test competition, I can set that up fairly quickly. So just let me know. And Homeboy431 is asking when AMA. Now, man. Yeah. So
Hey,
I think
Pablo, I
it's
have a
time. Go ahead.
suggestion.
Yeah.
Rather than jumping right forward into the next item, can we show some art? Kind of break things up a little bit.
What?
Throw things out of order.
I'm too OCD for that, but I'll allow it.
Thank you. Cool news. Let me pop this up, boy. Okay, so this is the fun part, getting to share the work that the art team, both Gino Bobina and our artist, I can't remember his Discord name, so I don't want to out the note, but our external team as well. One of the things I'm just going to share right out to just kick us off, and then we talked about this a little bit last week. We're looking at different, how do we do the characters in the game? And so this first image I'm sharing there is, this evolution of different ideas. And, as bizarre as it sounds, we're looking at, we literally had this discussion yesterday. How do we get to see the characters and their faces and their personalities without getting stuck on like one bit of their face? Like if you look at B1 there, that chef guy, he's got a big old mouth, right? And it's cool. It's a big characteristic. But we don't want to turn this game into everybody with big old mouths, right? At the same point, when you look there's the top character, A2 has no eyebrows. You're like, oh, is that the right thing to do? So anyways, there's a lot of work going on that. Just kind of details. And again, I'm just sharing behind the scenes work as we're trying to figure out how we make people's faces, the characters' faces look good, in addition to their body shapes and sizes. Next thing to share here real quick is wheat. When you look there at the image, you can see the progression. There's a concept, the original 3D models, some wireframes, changed it up. Well, that last version there is the new wheat for Godot. We're going to be getting that into our test version of the game very, very soon. So there's just an update on what that looks like there. Next thing, let me show you rice. This one's just concept image here as we're figuring out what do we want to do with rice to go from the original to the update. Cool looking stuff there. Again, I think a lot of the work that the art team is doing is just going to take us to the next level.
That one's really nice.
Yeah, it's a big difference, right? I don't know what those other things, they look like paper party favors or something, right? But the new rice looks awesome. And speaking of more awesome looking stuff, this one has a double win. The peppermint, right? Not only does the art look better, but when we look at the model, the number of tries in the model, it's less. And we've talked about this week over week, even answered a question last week about, hey, we're going to upgrade the art. I don't want it to just immediately slow down my game because all the art's upgraded with a bunch more details and everything. But we're keeping a very close eye on that. And so that's why we're actually sharing. The original model had 1,800 tries. The new one has 1,773. So, a little bit less, but at least it's keeping pace with what it was before. And we always have the option to go back and do even further optimization on that. Now, are you serious? Hallelujah pop. I'm not sure what that means. But let's go ahead. We mentioned how we kind of look at art and review it. This is a visual test board where we put all the stuff in there, all the old next to the new, so that as we're kind of conceptualizing and keeping our brain straight about what the progress is, are we making enough change? Does it look strong enough? We create 2D boards like this. And so you can see the different versions. The chocolate shop up there on the left, we're actually having these conversations like, well, that chocolate bar in the front, overlaps the kind of light brown, dark brown pattern that goes across the top of the building. What if we switch that so it doesn't overlap the dark part, but overlap the white part or the light part? How do we make it not intersect the sort of the ice cream ball or truffle on top of it? So that there's some more space. So tiny details like that, or like in the Italian restaurant. Well, let's clean up the roof there. It looks boring. Add some bits. Hey, let's add this the fans and vents up there, right? So all kinds of details like that. A lot of discussions going on behind the scenes in parallel to everything else. So images look good. Not keen on the green background. You mean the grass? Yeah, there's this is just a test board here. We know we're gonna try to get. I haven't seen it yet. If one exists, I'll take a quick look for it and see if we put some together. But I asked yesterday for our team to create an old versus new of in-game look, right? Because this is concept 2D. Gina's putting it out on a in Photoshop, but we actually have some in-game images as well. So that's all I have there on art. If I do find another image that shows the old versus new side by side of the actual game boards, running game boards, I'll share that while everybody else is talking here. And that's it, guys.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking at those. Someone's talking about the green, but I like that green. And the rice field is the biggest change in my opinion. You're right. I don't know what those things are on the left.
They're rolled up paper cones. Maybe it was rice cones.
Cool. So so we wanted to jump onto some live Q&A. I don't know if you guys have some. Well, we have been answering some of those questions. I see. Will fireworks be working by the 4th? That's actually a good question. We just discussed that in our stand-up in the morning. So we are working on different functionality for NFTs that are upcoming, and we also are including things that we skipped when we released on May 1st or that we delayed, and that includes the fireworks. So I want to put that into the schedule next week. So hopefully we'll be out by the 4th. Let's see what else. Let's see. Dash Rip Rock. When will haunted mazes work properly? Speed boost for animals. We have tickets for haunted mazes. Again, we're prioritizing heavily everything. NFT storage is prefix. So I've heard there's a delay when units pick up and drop off. We haven't been fully able to reproduce that compared to the normal storages. I know that you guys are reporting that, so we have our QA team continuously checking that, try to reproduce it, but it doesn't seem to be something that happens every single time. So we'll keep looking for that and try to see when that happens and fix it. Fireworks, as I said before, is something that I want to have or start working next week. So hopefully next week will be out. Will non-earning NFTs be available for rent or only earning NFTs? So we are working on a couple things. Renting is something we want, but we haven't gotten there yet. First is daily challenges. So there's no specific design for renting just yet. But that's a good feedback, like, hey, will this work with this type or that type of NFT? Let us know what you guys think. What do you think is reasonable? How do you imagine renting works, and so on. Period DG Arts is saying, how soon we can get those new arts in? Well, we're working on that. I think that some of the things that we're releasing today are in the new art style. So
the way to think about it is going forward, when we create new art, we'll be in the new art style, but catching up all the current existing art. I'm working with a producer and getting a timeline on that. A little bit of details. There's some weird delays coming from our outsourcing house that were a little bit surprising to us. But as soon as we get that timeline, we'll share it with everybody, of course. We want it out too.
Got it. So adding stars And leaderboard for casual server, we have a ticket for adding the stars back, so you can check your progress there. We haven't made it a priority, but it's something we want to do. Can we get upgrade option on lumberjack farmers to loggers tractors, like we have for? Oh, that's interesting. Like you can select the lumberjack and convert it into a logger. Is that what you mean? NFT drops. So we are actively discussing with Sage. Progression is something that we discussed here before, but we are heavily working on progression. We can't say anything yet, but that kind of crosses into that. What else? Daily challenge. Yes, we've said before, Mr. True Pabu, how daily challenges is our next priority. We were working heavily and arduously on Fast Forward and This Connects. So hopefully, we're really liking the build that we're going to be releasing today. If everything goes well with that, we can move on fully to other stuff that we want to do. Daily challenges has been in the works already. That's not delayed, but obviously, if we can free up some of our awesome engineers, we can hopefully speed that up. Daily challenge is coming. Some of us are still able to purchase NFTs. As far as I understand, they have a fix already for the credit card, debit card issues. They announced it. We don't control that, guys. I'm really sorry. That's more of a Gala-wide issue. But I do know that there's people working on them on those issues, and as far as I understand, they have a fix for it. Cool. Anything else? Hey guys, on the stage, are I missing any good questions? Can we mint our treasure chest Gala directly to Geary instead of Ethereum in the future? I think that's more of a functionality question for Bitbender potentially. Is that correct, Sage?
Yeah, I was just saying that. We'll go ahead and forward that off and try to get an answer on that. I know there was some sort of issue before that you talked about, not related to stopping that, but I don't know if we've ever covered that directly. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in terms of treasure chests and conversions of ETH NFTs to Jiri NFTs. A lot of work happening there. We'll get an answer for that. And thanks for asking that question.
Got it. So, hey, you're saying we're not, some people complain about the storage. So we're not blowing it up. We're just working on it, trying to figure out what's going on. We haven't been able to identify a reason why there would be a difference with normal storages and NFT storages. They're essentially the same in game. But we will take a harder look now that we are freeing up resources and getting onto some more bug fixes. So please be on the lookout for a fix for that. Let's see what else, or are those all the questions we've seen? Does the mobile has to be high-end mobile in order to play without lags? So I answered this. The issue with playing in mobile is not necessarily the how good the phone is. There are some UI elements and UX elements that we need to work on. So that's also something that we have a plan for. So we want the game to be fully available for mobile browsers first, and eventually we'll release the game as standalone apps that you can download from Google Play and the Apple stores and stuff like that. So that's why there's some issue playing with the game on mobile, but we want to fix that in the next 4 weeks or so. I think that's pretty much all the questions. Oh, wait, no, I have one final question. Mij is asking, what about update Town offline? So the answer to that is that goes out today, guys. Today is the fast forward going out, so you can check it out. I saw a lot of comments about a test competition, so I asked Geserat, can I do a test competition for, with the next meta? And he says, yes, absolutely. So I'll set that up so you can start testing that over the weekend. And you can play fast forward with it. It will be a no reward competition, but yes. Cool. So with that in mind, we can move on to, whoa, we're a little behind on time. So, um, uh, Bullcron, I heard that you have a lab inside the Townstar team. Is that correct?
I was so yeah. So this week we were doing just covering our data system and introducing it to some of the new teammates, and I made these epic slides. Everybody loves PowerPoint or Google Slides, right? But yeah, I was just playing around, and I wanted to demonstrate how easy it is to modify the game data. So I made two new units. The first was this is not going live, by the way, everybody. Please don't think we're gonna we're gonna go live with this. At least not in the way that I wrote it. This is what I call for you guys that work out all the time. Let me share a GIF in line here. This is the Crops Fit farmer, and he carries wheat fast, or he runs faster when his arms are full. So that was pretty fun. That was literally a one-line change, just because the way our data is set up. It's very easy, right? So that's fun. And then just real quick, the other one, I was like, man, I want to make a trade depot that instead of burning gasoline, it burns sugar. But the trade, and it's faster, but the trade-off is that it will only sell sugar-related items. So it, reduced inventory of what it will sell, but it'll be faster, and maybe you'll get less money because the sugar truck driver is, I don't know, eating your sugar or whatever along the way. So this one was the Sweet Trade Depot. This also is not going live. This is just me horsing around and showing off the data to the new team, but I thought it'd be fun to share on Discord. You can see he's delivering to Sucrose Central. He won't deliver wood or wheat, but he will sell sugar, even though I have no gas. So he'll deliver because I have sugar in my town. So that was fun, and that took like 10 minutes. Yeah, I just want to give you guys an idea about the flexibility of the game and the kind of really cool NFTs that this exposes in the future, the different behaviors that we can add. When you're talking about what if we have a unit that evolves and stuff like that, it's very doable. It's a very flexible system. So yeah, just kind of thanking the team for making such a flexible design. It's easy to edit. That's it for my labs.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, that looks interesting. There are quite some things that we can do, and I'm pretty sure Quesera is salivating over that NFTs that he can create, and new units and buildings that we can try. So thank you so much, Vulcan and team, for checking those out. Now we're a little behind, so let's move on to leaks. Hey, so Daniel, what do you have for us on
Yeah, I
socials?
hope you guys are ready for some leaks coming up here. So first off, I had a little competition here with the Townstar characters going on. So basically just pitting up a bunch of different characters that you guys are probably familiar with from Townstar. So I want to hear from you guys. Who do you like the most in Townstar? And definitely seems like it's a tie so far between the rancher, the cowgirl, and also the farmer. So that's definitely seems to be your guys' top favorites. I've also seen some votes for the scientist, which was pretty interesting, but seems you guys like him as well. So yeah, that's like the current community post I put up on Twitter. If you guys want to go check it out and just drop your vote, feel free to do so. In addition, we have some really awesome art that's been produced by our in-house artists, our designers as well. So I'm also going to be sharing those a bit on social medias as well. I think that, we really want to start showing some more of the artwork and some of the progress that we've been making. And that's what we've been doing. It's we're having more and more content to really show and push out on social media, which is great. I've been definitely seeing you guys join in with that as well, posting up pictures of your towns and everything. So yeah, keep sharing anything that you find interesting in Townstar with us. Just tag us at Townstar Game, and I'll give it a look. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I got for social media right now. So yeah, feel free to carry on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for all the work. I see that the Instagram for the game is growing, and there's a lot of movement in Twitter. So Great job, man. We really appreciate it. That will help probably bring in more players too. So that's great. Now, the current competition, anything goes. That thing finishes, in an hour, I think, 2 hours. So the reward for that is glinting peanut vines. Be on the lookout for that. As we said before, there's going to be an uncommon version, so you know how to get it already. So you still have like a little bit of time to see if you can get to, I think it was 50K stars. And next is, ¿Qué será? Do we have information on the next competition?
Yes, we have a lot of new information for the next competition, the meta, the new NFTs, and a lot more. I actually had enough things planned for like 20 minutes, but I only have 7 minutes to get through all of them. So let's move quickly. So it's not just that the fast forward is coming out today. We actually have a lot of new content coming out. You'll notice that after the release goes live, you will be able to craft jewelry. It's actually a lot of new things in the game, but fortunately, one odd gent made a great flowchart to understand what is going on. Let me just post that in the chat. As you will notice, the black things are the buildings. So the usual progression would be that you will collect the ores, which will then be converted into metals, which will then be converted into wires using a wire mill. And then your jewelers will be able to convert that into jump rings.
Hey, ¿Qué será? Can you get closer to the mic, please?
Yes. Am I better now?
I think so.
Oh, awesome. So yes, finally, you'll be able to use those jump rings to craft jewelry for you. This week, we've kept things simpler. They'll get a little bit more complicated moving forward. So what else? Yes, I was trying to, so I am not done by any means, but I was trying to test things out on QA and how everything works. I have one town over here. I hope this will give you some picture of how things might be different. For example, you will notice that your panning sites, even though are affected by shade, they are not as badly affected by shade as your crops are. So you can actually place them much closer to other things. Next up. Yes, and this isn't it. We will actually have 2 more new buildings coming to the game next week, and then 1 more planned in another 2 months or so. So you should expect more things in the future. Let me just go over all the competition details. Yes, the competition for the next week will be for crafting chandelier earrings. You'll find all the details for that in the announcements very soon. The map will have actually 2 rivers and 2 forests for you. Although you will probably not need as much water this time around, but it should still help you. It will take you 80 seconds for trade and 1 gas to do so. Your initial clutch is back to 25,000 as we used to. And your biome will be Plains North. The reward for this week is actually something we are still working on. You will see those details in the announcement very soon. We are actually planning to do the rewards a little bit differently than we used to. You'll find out soon enough about those. Yes, I'm sure you would have noticed the last few weeks we have actually been doing a lot of low to medium price items. That is something, in fact, you can expect going forward. Every week, you can expect one low to medium price item, and there may or may not be another item that goes along with it. For next week, we actually have 3 different items, although there are actually only 2 and 1 with 2 different rarities. The first one is the Trinity Gem Works. It's a new jewelry crafting table. And instead of just 1 jeweler, it will come with 3 different jewelers. Like, even though they will move very slightly slower than your current in-game building, with more hands, you'll be able to do things a lot faster. It will be priced at $70. Next up, we have 2 different rarities of a new item called the Arcane Earrings. Before I go into the details, let me talk about the set in general. So there you will find over time there are actually 4 different items in this set. The first of them is the Arcane Earrings. The set is called the Arcane Artifacts. and it comes with a limit. At any point in time, you can only place at most 4 of these set items on your board. It's up to you to choose which ones you want. The other items for the set will come out in the future. The next one is scheduled in 2 weeks from now, but the first one coming out is this. So these Arcane Earrings, there are 2 different rarities of it that will buff your fort workers. They will move significantly faster and will craft faster. There are 2 different rarities. One is epic and one is rare. The epic one will boost craft time by 10% and movement speed by 50%. And the rare one by 2.5% and 10%. I actually forgot to mention it here. The epic one is priced at about $150 and the rare one is only priced at $30. Apart from these 3 items, you will find there will be 2 more packs available in the store on Monday. Trinity Gembox will be available to purchase along with the rare Arcane Earrings only for $85. And it will be available to purchase along with the epic ones only for $190. The first one is at about $25 discount, the second one at $30. I think that's just about everything I had that I've covered. Yes.
Thank you, man. So that's a lot of information.
Yes.
That whole update with all the new buildings, all the new crafts, all the new units. Yes, that will all be right in Moise. Thank you. So all of that will be out after the current competition ends. Probably an hour later, we'll do an update. So you'll have it in game. I'll set up a test competition, probably from Saturday to Monday, for you to test with Fast Forward. So please make sure to try to break it. Give us all the information you have on it. And yeah, so I'll set that up quickly so you can enjoy that. And the Monday items will be look really cool, especially for if you want to get ahead of the competition next week. You probably want to take a look at that Trinity Gemworks. So yes, anything else, guys? I think we are on time and at the end of our
so I wanted to mention one more. Hey, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just so since we are coming out with a lot of content which we will be using over the next 3 months, like it's very hard for us to design items that will not conflict with each other in the future. So please, you should expect there will be some conflict. In fact, and we will try to tell you guys as much in advance of what you can expect in the future. For example, next week, we will be launching 2 different buildings in the game, one of which will actually help you craft metals a lot faster. So you will be able to use your forges. Actually, tell you what, we'll post those details along with the announcements very soon as well. I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. So we're at time. I think we've answered a lot of questions. So just a quick summary. 2 updates today. One is for the meta that's going to be available 1 hour after release, approximately. An hour after the current competition ends. And then we have another update later on the day with the Fast Forward disconnect fixes and some more. So please be on the lookout. We'll set up a test competition for the weekend. And ¿qué será? They're asking about the points for the chandelier earrings and stuff like that. So whenever you can, please go to Discord and add as much information as you can at this point. But you'll get all of that information very soon too with the update, guys. So with that, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you coming here, listening to us, the updates, Volcron's Lab, and everything that that's coming for Townstar. So thank you, everybody, and goodbye. So bye, guys.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody on stage.